Hello, today we're doing the law of attraction, and this is quite exciting because, well, one, I don't look at which law I'm doing next until I get there so that I'm not thinking ahead or I'm not getting energies from the next law when I'm working on one mandala. But when I saw this morning, this is the most popular law out there, probably because of the movie The Secret. But the original material for the law of attraction probably came from Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks channeling Abraham, I would say one of my greatest teachers, and I love what they talk about. And if you Google the law of attraction, you're going to see endless pages on it. So I'm not going into any of that. I am basically going to give you a brief introduction of what it is, and then as I know it, and then go into my spirit calling card reading. And from there, I quickly go into the little mini movies that my divine helpers show me, and that's their teaching tool for me. So I'll basically be describing everything I see as they're teaching me the law of attraction, and from there I'll pull the symbology for the painting. So here we go. If you haven't heard of the law of attraction before, it's basically how we create in our lives the things, the events, the people that are there, and how our thoughts and feelings, our words and our actions, they create a certain energy, and that energy attracts the same energy. So basically negative energy attracts negative energy, positive energy attracts positive energy. And if you haven't seen the movie The Secret, I recommend it. And if you haven't heard of Abraham Hicks before and you're looking for daily inspiration, there's a lot of their recordings online. Okay, so the spirit calling card readings. Again, if I use any words that you're not comfortable with, just change them, or, take what serves you and leave the rest. Dear God and guiding spirits, angels of light and love, guide me on my path to my highest good. Help me through this reading to develop a mandala as a teaching tool on the law of attraction. What general message have you for me before I start? I'm going to pull 5 cards with my left hand, the hand of the subconscious, and make a sentence that feels right to start this reading. So the first card is promise, community, shift, embrace, passion, shift the community by promising to embrace passion. No. Passion shifts a community that embraces the promise. Ooh, I got chills on that one. So let's look at that. Passion shifts a community that embraces a promise. I could change that, but I'm being told to stay here. Part of me wants to keep playing, but I'm told, no, this is it, even if it sounds a little awkward. So by being in a state of passion, the whole community is going to shift. As they embrace the promise that energy attracts energy. I'm closing my eyes and I'm inviting the mini movies, or what is I call also my guided visual journeys. We're at the top of a mountain pot. Interesting. Yes, exactly. A mountain pot. So it's the peak of a mountain, but there's a person sitting there with a big wooden stir stick, and the top of the mountain, like a volcano, but it's not a volcano. They're stirring inside this big mountain, like if they were stirring chocolate sauce. And I had a sundae yesterday, so I'm thinking chocolate sauce. The mountain is also snow-capped, and so it's making me think of vanilla ice cream. Summer has finally arrived here in Newfoundland, so there you go. at the base of the mountain where the grass is, I am seeing people in a circle all around the mountain, basically holding hands and dancing and singing, how children do, And there's this there are two birds flying over the mountain. One is a white bird, one is a black bird, or what feels more like a shadow. One is a shadow bird, yes, and the other one is a white bird. No distinguishing whether it's a swan or a goose or anything like that. It's just it could even be an angel. I'm not getting, it's a blurry state of the birds as this big person is stirring the pot of the mountain. Okay, the pot is starting to bubble and boil. And from it are coming out sparks like fireworks, again, not volcano-like, more like little sparks. Some are musical notes. Some is just like metallic confetti, just sparks of color and shine. Some of it is sound. I'm getting the sound of laughter. It's almost as if I'm getting a sense of a mountain burping. Okay, I'm diving into the as he was stirring or she was stirring, I'm not sure. It became more of a hole straight down to the bottom of the mountain. And all the sparks and stuff, it's still happening, but now there's a clear tunnel down, and there's this little insect that just went flying right into it. Insect turned into a sort of helicopter type drone with a camera on it, which I'll admit I heard about this week. So he's going deep down into that tunnel. Which went right through the earth and to the other side. I'm getting this sense of playfulness that they're playing with me in terms of trying to figure this out. I'm trying too hard as I'm being asked to relax. I'm being asked to not force this. Sometimes when I'm recording these, I don't take the time. It could be a 1-hour reading, but I want to make it concise so that I can have it on my blog and not bore you. And so I have to learn to just relax and let it happen in divine timing. Okay. That insect/drone that I'm basically seeing through its eyes has gone all the way through the mountain, made through that hole that was there. The planet, or yes, I guess the planet, has become just one bead now, and there's a giant hand taking it and passing a string through it, so that you've got this bead and you're bringing all sorts of other beads to it. Whether they're other planets or not, I am not sure. Although I am getting a sense some of the beads have rings around it, like Jupiter and that. So it's like a circle of planets on a string. But the hand is now using it as mala beads, or what the Christians would do with a rosary, passing the beads in the fingers one at a time, saying prayers. So now there's this being with this string of planets praying. And if I look at each one of the planets, there's all sorts of languages and sounds and musics and laughter and all sorts of things still happening out of the holes of each of these. They're vibrating. They're not static energy. They're vibrating with energy. This being now that I'm seeing again is not shapeless, but no defining characters. but this sense of from the back of the neck and from the heart center, energy coming out very strong, and I can feel it in my own body. The back of the neck and the heart center glowing, very warm, very loving, very compassionate. And I'm seeing these little magnets at the base of the heart and at the back of the neck. And as the energy is glowing out, I'm seeing the magnets attracting that from other people who are also all around. Okay, so I'm now seeing lots of different people who are in this cross-legged seated position, with beads, the same type of beads, and with the same kind of magnets. They're now forming a whole network, like a diagram network of people. Oh, and I'm seeing a top layer. So there are two layers of these networks, one floating above the other, and one you can feel that light, you can feel the warmth. The bottom layer is I wouldn't say cold. It's got more this sort of feeling of despair, and between them I'm getting a sense of, I can see poverty, I can see war, I can see not just like it's a feeling. It's not the fact. It's that feeling of yuckiness, and the magnets are working just the same. Like attract like. So they're feeding off each other. They're feeding off each other. So it's like parallel universes, basically, but they're in the same space. But what they're experiencing is completely different depending on what they're radiating. Oh, on the bottom layer, the beads, I was just looking in their hand, and the beads that they're holding are more like skulls, which I know some people see as a positive symbol. I've never resonated with the symbol of skulls, so in the shamanic sense, so I'm just seeing skulls, but also, I don't know how to call those big iron balls full of spikes that they used to use on the end of a chain to club things. So skulls and those iron spiky balls. Versus on the top, yeah, they're still all sort of planets, balls of light. Part of me is thinking, how am I going to draw this? But sorry, skipping ahead. Okay. I'm going down a slide. So right now we're back to that sense of laughter. Oh, it's a spiral type slide, and I'm back in the mountain. In that, no, it's not chocolate sauce, but the mountain with the hole in it. There's now this slide going from the top all the way to the bottom, and you have all these children laughing and sliding, and as they're going down, it's like their clothing is static and it's attracting to them stuff from inside the planet that will serve them or that resonates with their energy. And as they get to the bottom of the planet, then they're running back to the top. Obviously, it doesn't take, the years that it would in normal life. They're just running back to the top of the planet, and they're going down the slide again. But before they do, they've got these locker boxes, and they're depositing all the stuff. It's not all physical. Some of it's energy, some of it's experience, some of it's just life. So they're putting in their locker boxes the things that they're collecting as they're going up and down this spiral slide through the planet. And there's in these locker boxes, they have these little hooks with keys. Some have them, some have more, some have less. Oh, I'm seeing, okay, so when they come back up, some of them are actually putting a key. So I guess a key is what some of them are attracting once they're in there. And I'm just observing as, lineups of people are talking to each other and laughing and sharing stories. And it's like at a summer pool thing, but the lockers are all open. There's no doors on them. There's this great sense of trust. Someone just put a bouquet in theirs. Okay, in one of the locker boxes, there's a family sitting at a dinner table. And every time my brain tries to make logic out of something, it stops. So let's forget the logic here. So the little family is there. I'm not sure if the person who just deposited something there is there or not, but they can see each other, except they're hugely different in sizes. So that's where my brain got stuck. And as the person just put a turkey on the table, and a little mini turkey, because it's like static, clinging to their clothes and stuff. And back down the slide for another trip. I'm following that person right now, and there's also down the tunnel, I'm seeing screens, like a whole bunch of TV screens, and and as he's going by, he's flicking some on and flicking some off. He's making choices of what to watch or what to experience. I'm not sure if these are actually, okay, I'm not sure if they're experiences or just things that he's choosing to see or not see, but they're flicking off screens and others. Things are being tossed at him, and some things are coming his way, but or swerving around him and missing him completely, so he doesn't even see them. I'm just seeing them as not being attracted into his energy field. And up the planet he goes again, and putting stuff into his locker. But it's never becoming overstuffed. That little family at the dinner table is never getting squished by what he's adding to it. The scene is changing right now. We've got a calming. The whole speed, the whole noise level, the whole feeling has just calmed down. We're looking at a winter scene. We're looking at a young girl skating on a frozen pond with the fields around it all covered in snow. Very flat, very white, very peaceful. On the blades of her skates, like I'm seeing colors and things move, but it's not a reflection of anything around because there is nothing around. It's all white. So it's as if the blades of her skates were alive with color and vision and movement. I'm not getting a sense of sad. I'm not getting a sense of depressed. I'm getting a sense of neutral. There's no joy, but there's no sadness. And I don't think she's aware of what's happening in her skates, on the blades. She's all dressed in white. It's just very neutral. Whoa, and we've changed scenes again. We're at a circus. And just, everything you would think of a typical circus in terms of I'm seeing popcorn vendors and clowns and jugglers and elephants and the big, in this case it's blue and yellow circus tent. Inside you've got the trapeze artists. And the circus now has become inside of a marble. It's. I know it's there. I was shown it was there, but I'm just seeing now a glass marble, and children playing with this marble, and other marbles. And as they're playing, they become sort of the nucleus of another scene. I'm seeing a village, very much like I grew up in Germany in terms of the Air Force Base. We were in the town, though. I'm just seeing like apartment buildings. I guess I'm remembering myself playing marbles right outside the apartment building. And I'm getting radio towers. Okay, so these radio towers are radiating the thoughts and feelings of these children as they play. And I'm seeing futures being attracted. How I don't know how to describe how I knew that, but the radio towers are emitting signals, and what's coming back is the adult selves of these children playing marbles. And they're carrying a checklist. I can't read what's on the checklist, but they've got clipboards and checklists, and they're looking over energetically these children, and they're morphing into different forms depending on what the children are thinking and feeling and saying to each other and that kind of thing. So it's this constant morphing. And from these radio waves, it's kind of this cloud above the planet. I'm going more into the night sky, the universe, looking at the Earth now, almost like if I was in, those space photographs that we saw from rockets. Back into the marble and the circus, back out, like I'm. It's a pulse. Okay. It's a pulse from the energy that's being put into that marble, the circus energy, all the way out to the universe. It's like a heartbeat. Now I'm seeing the actual earth, and it's all of a heartbeat. I'm being aware of the heartbeat and sort of this pulsing, vibrating energy, zoom, 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 out of that person that was at the top of the mountain, stirring the mountain, who's now just kind of leaning on top and looking at all these people go down the slide. Everything is pulsing. I'm being shown again those 2 layers of people holding beads, sitting cross-legged, floating in space but interconnected. And I'm seeing again that pulsing vibration of a heartbeat coming from both sides, except that there's a very clear cut between the top layer and the bottom layer. Again, that idea of contrast that I explored in the law of cause and effect. I mean, all these laws are very related. Is there any other imagery? Yes. Being shown in the middle of this network of people, there's this giraffe where the legs and body are with the bottom layer of cross-legged people holding beads, and the neck and head are with the top layer. And that person on the top of the mountain is now just tossing rings, and the rings are going around the neck of the giraffe like a toy. Like a toy at a fair again, where you toss the rings above a stick or something. And every time he gets one, I'm hearing the cheers Um, I'm getting two different feelings. Oh, there's two different beings tossing. I don't know where the other one is. It's off screen type of thing. But there's someone else tossing rings and missing, and then this kind of anger and frustration, and the people on the bottom layer are paying attention to that and they're feeding off of that. Whereas the one from the top of the mountain who's tossing rings, there's this cheer and all that, and that's just amplifying the positive energy of everything I'm seeing. Like a lot of the different scenes are all sort of melding into each other. This giraffe doesn't seem to mind things being tossed at it. It's not, this is not animal cruelty. Okay. And just going to ask if this is the end. No, we're back to the skater on the white pond. She's paused and she's looking in two directions. Again, that feeling of total neutrality. There's no sadness, but there's no joy. She's opening her jacket, and that's the first color except for the blades that I see. There's two light switches. Oh, I remember this in a previous reading. Light switches, I think that was law of vibration. But it's as if her heart had two light switches on it, and it's at the neutral position. It's not off or on right now. And she has to make a choice. I can see her heart pulsating with a bit of energy, a bit of light, a bit of color. I'm now sensing another presence with her, putting their arm around her. It's a sense, it's not an actual other human being. So it could be a guardian angel, it could be, spirit guide. Taking her hand and gently going towards, it's like this is almost slow motion, the suspense, and she's flipping it up. Her entire being is starting to radiate with color, and her clothing has transformed to this rainbow that matches her skates, like the whole being from top to bottom, her skin, everything has become this beautiful swirl of color. Her skating takes on a whole other dimension. I can feel her joy. I can feel the snow melting all around her. Everything is becoming part of this rainbow and is starting to pulsate. I'm sensing a link between her and all sorts of different scenes, but I'm not seeing visually exactly how it is. Oh, well, it's become... Okay, she's become liquid. This whole scene, her and everything there has become this rainbow liquid that I'm looking at, and it's swirling. And it's swirling as part of that liquid that was in the mountain. Like butter that's melted. And I'm getting this big grin, straight eye contact with that being that was on top. Again, I'm not seeing the features and all that, but that great being that was stirring the mountain at the very beginning is looking straight at me with eye contact and just grinning. And that's it. Well, let's see what kind of a mandala comes out of that. Thank you very much for joining me.